Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored cast of pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker.
No, he's not here.
Last, but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
See, I'm here.
Welcome in, everyone, to the Undrafted Uncensored, where I experienced the longest 15 seconds of my life last night. And
what'd she say about it?
Well, she paid me $450.77, so that should tell you.
Nick is a prostitute.
Only for football.
Colfax is good.
Gentlemen, welcome in, Joe and Nick. Colin, what are we doing? I told you I was going to ask.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready. Let's go. Mr. Payton. It's game time.
I was really hoping more for a Marsha Brady face.
I've got my game face on. I got a chin strap on. I won't lose my helmet. I can take all the hits because our offensive line sucks. Just put me out there as a sacrificial lamb. I asked for 1/10 of Russell Wilson's contract. I'll even sign the waiver clause. You don't need to worry about me. If I get injured, it's okay. I will sign the waiver clause. You don't have to guarantee me anything after this Sunday's check. But I'm ready.
Genius. What could possibly go wrong? Did you played high school football at least, right, Colin?
No. I played flag football and I played Madden.
So yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, you can definitely.
That almost counts,
I can run, I can cut,
almost
I can jump.
Close.
I look bigger than Deuce Vaughn in the backfield. I'm probably as tall as Bryce Young. I'm as tall as Bryce Young. So it's obviously all the talent is there. Mr.
I'm as tall as Bryce Young. Okay? I can do it.
What kind of talent are we talking about?
Yeah.
I'm
more
curious.
Than $477.15 for 15 minutes.
If you can run a
it was 15 seconds, by the way.
15 seconds. That's
it was 15 seconds because that's what was left on the clock when they threw that first pass into the end zone that was incomplete. And apparently that was still too much time for Washington to guarantee me a victory, and so I got more nervous.
All right, I got to take this off.
I was waiting.
Yeah, good call.
I mean, it looks. I'll give you. It looks decent on you.
It looks warm too. Like that's good to wear it to a warm game.
Yeah, I know
it's a cold game.
It's
got kind of cover your face. I said warm, didn't I?
Yeah,
it'll keep you warm in a cold game. I'm real smart. I know how to say words good.
Well, see, it's even got this. It's got the mouth part.
Oh, dope. Oh, so now you can go rob a store.
Yeah, so
really turning this into a little BDSM thing,
and it all attaches. It
says insert blank here.
It's got the little hookup so that it snaps inside the helmet. I'm ready to go. I told you. I mean, they're playing in Vegas, so I didn't want to wear this part for it. So
I would like to introduce Gimp Suit Colin.
Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Gimp Suit Colin.
Oh man!
So my chiropractor.
Because you got the orange shirt too. It's perfect.
Yeah, my chiropractor is a big Chargers fan, and so I wore my Broncos onesie and my helmet and everything to my chiropractor appointment today. They looked at me. Aubrey, the receptionist, looked at me when I came in. She was like, and I took off my sunglasses because I had my Broncos orange sunglasses on. I just gave her a big shit-eating grin. And then I looked over to my chiropractor's office, and he just shook his head.
I'm surprised you didn't have your neck snapped.
Oh, no. Well, it's feeling all right.
I mean, with a team like this, if you don't, maliciously brag when they win, you don't know when you're going to get another chance.
You don't.
At this point. Like, obviously, it's another battle of the backups, which I love, with Aiden O'Connell versus Jarrett Stidham. You have to accentuate the Jarrett every time you say it.
You don't have to. You just like to.
Yes, absolutely. I actually got a surprise ticket to the game Sunday, and I was up there yelling, "Come on, Jarrett!"
You said that already. We recorded Sunday, or do you forget?
Did we? Oh, that's right. It was late Sunday.
Yeah.
I forgot we did it. Okay. I thought I was like saying these things for the first time.
Don't worry. I'll have my non-alcoholic beer, my Christmas Santa Claus Hauser, non-alcoholic.
That's
cheers.
nice.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. I want to have a Klaus
Oh my
Hauser
goodness.
anyway.
It's not a twist off like I thought.
I have a Kroger brand soda. It's blueberry pomegranate flavored.
I have my last Heart of Mountain Dew. Hashtag not a sponsor.
Speaking of that, did you hear what's going to be out full time?
Say that again.
You heard what's going to be out full time?
Your mother?
Baja Blast.
Is it really?
Yes.
They also have Baja.
That was the Instagram thing I missed today?
Yep.
Oh, son of a bitch. As long as they have the zero sugar one, I'll be happy.
I'm sure they will. They should.
Yeah, I do enjoy a good Baja Blast. Now I saw it on Instagram earlier when I was eating lunch when I was messaging you. And
spamming me.
Yeah. And it came up, but like somebody texted me, so I like go back to the text, and then I go back to go back to Instagram, and it reset. And I didn't feel like searching for Mountain Dew, and I just stopped caring. I was like, okay, whatever.
That's
That's
how the internet usually goes, you know?
Yeah, our internet at work's been stupid anyway, so that's what I'm going to blame.
Sure, yeah. I get to blame my fantasy football loss on Tom Brady because I signed him on my bench. So
that's what you get.
Big
washed up has-beens. Those washed up has-beens.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks of the future, did we see the quarterback of the Broncos' future on display at any point Sunday or Monday? I mean Monday.
Which one, Quinn Ewers?
See, I hear his name and I hear Ewers. I see his last name and I think of what was it, Elwes from Princess Bride?
Carrie Elwes, yeah.
Yes. It's what I think of every time I see his last name. I want to say it like Elwes.
Yeah.
Even though it's not even close to that. I just think of the Princess Bride.
I just hope that the ideas that Michael Penix is going to keep up, and then that happens, because if he keeps playing super well and ends up potentially winning a college football championship, that might kind of move him up some draft boards, and that makes me sad because the Broncos might actually be able to get a steal in this draft with this many good quarterbacks. But I kind of want that kid. He looks good.
My fear is that this is his only healthy season. And yeah, he looks great when he's healthy. I mean, I'm not saying that he is not a good quarterback. But I mean, we all know John Elway played with no ACL. But I worry that he can't stand up, especially behind this offensive line. He's got a good offensive line at Washington. They have a good system for him. I would hope that Sean Payton would devise something that would work for him if he were to land here.
Yeah.
But it does worry me that he's been injured often. And like I said, if he drops to the Broncos are at 15, 14 right now.
Yeah.
If he drops to 14, yeah, you smash it, you take that guy, and you hope he pans out.
Maybe you
redshirt also, too. Yeah, behind who? If you redshirt him behind Jarrett Stidham, like how this is exactly what I talked about with the Broncos drafting.
No,
for us, but yes,
it's cheaper if you keep her.
No, it's cheaper to keep her.
Well, it's cheaper for 1 year.
It's cheap, but it's still cheaper.
No, I want cheaper overall because we're already going to be in debt with Russ anyway. But sorry, go ahead, Colin.
Well, this is the problem that you run into is that you have the fan base always chanting for that guy, even when it was Jay Cutler as the backup, or I mean, Tebow was a whole different animal, but you're always chanting for the backup, and everyone's going to be all over Sean Payton asking him, when is he starting? When is this happening? And you know that those questions are going to come, and Sean will just give the same snarky response.
What's the question?
But Broncos country will be mad because they're not seeing the rookie play. And it's also, you said redshirt him. You can't really redshirt him unless you have a reason to, like Malik Hooker had, who was out with an ACL last year.
Yeah.
Who tore it in one of the middle of the college football season last year. You can't really just redshirt a guy and not play him. And I worry that if the Broncos spend that draft pick on him, they still don't have any protection. So are you setting him out to the dogs a la Derek Carr, where he's going to get sacked all these times because the game moves so much faster and it could ruin his confidence?
Maybe. I don't know. They need to, I feel like, take advantage. I mean, unless the next year's quarterback class looks just as stacked, which at least it's going to have a few good guys, but I feel like they're going to shoot to the top, and they're not going to be able to find someone who's going to actually be able to be there for the future. That's all I really want, and so far Penix looks awesome. But yeah, those are all very valid concerns, and I'm okay with really, as long as it's, someone that looks decent. I don't know too much about Quinn Ewers, but
well, I mean, Quinn Ewers, I think, looks pretty damn good.
Yeah,
but he's not gonna.
He's not coming more too.
He's not coming out this year. No. He could have come out this year, but he said he was going back for his next year at Texas.
Right, he's a sophomore.
But yeah, they might be looking at Bo Nix then.
But he's probably redshirted,
which Nick is in favor of. Which he looks
he's
good.
3 years out of high school. He could have come out to play this year.
Okay, but hey, with the ability to have fucking NIL deals, might as well just kick it in college and play more with your boys and get more experience and try to win a national championship and increase your draft stock and all that shit.
He's probably going to be the front runner for the Heisman.
Exactly. And especially with a class this stacked, why come out in this class? Come out in the next year's class where it's Shador and who the fuck else? Probably other people, I'm sure. But,
Well, and going, I guess going back to the point of Penix, if he does fall to the Broncos, I have no problem taking him. I'm afraid of him getting hurt. That's going to be a fear that I'll have probably for his
whole fear with everybody, though.
But it's more profound.
It really is. It's less so for some guys than others. Like KJ, every time KJ Hamler catches the ball or caught a ball, you were afraid something was going to tear.
Well, I mean,
it did.
And it did.
Really Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, and Chubb.
And look what Miami's suffering right now.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of guys you don't worry as much about. Lamar Jackson, you don't worry about it as much. Jalen Hurts, you don't worry about it as much. There are guys that you just don't worry as much. Yeah, you're nervous, but it's not at the forefront like it is for a guy like Penix. So having said that, if he's there, Broncos take him. Sure. It doesn't matter what your offensive line looks like. And then, I mean, I don't want to wish ill on anyone, but God forbid he gets hurt. The Broncos don't have a backup, or their backup is Stidham or whoever the hell they bring in. Then you know what? They have a shitty season. They have a top draft pick again. Or they not again. They have a top draft pick this time around.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you go after Penix, you really are going to trade your picks to try and shore up that offensive line in front of them also. And that could mean moving back into the first round. It could mean making trades with other teams for future draft picks. You're going to try and secure that offensive line because of that injury concern. So I think there's a bunch of caveats that go with him. Not like there aren't caveats with every other rookie quarterback. But Caleb Williams, you feel a lot more comfortable with him being able to move around in the pocket and stay healthy just because he's shown some of those things. So that's where I sit with it. Like I said, if he falls, take him without a doubt.
Yeah. I would love it if Caleb Williams was an option. But
it would have been if we kept sucking.
I mean, I'm just looking more at those guys we can actually get. Yeah, you're right. That would have been nice, sort of. But I don't know. So I like seeing the Chargers lose. That's always fun. So at this point, fuck it. We'll take what we can get at this point. It'd be nice to get better draft picks, but we're just kind of stuck right now. Priority one is figure out what to do with Russ.
Well, but that's the problem is they haven't figured out what to do with Russ either, other than bench him.
I know.
You're still stuck.
I don't know. I mean, that's probably what they will do, but I don't know. I still don't know if that's the right thing to do. And I know you're going to yell at me.
Tell me a quarterback who has been benched for someone else at the end of the season who has that big of a contract who has stayed on their current team. Just name one.
I'm not saying that. No, it's.
Who's had blow-ups on the sideline with the coach, who has a
Tom Brady,
who also got benched.
Yeah, nobody gets benched. Like it's
no.
I mean, you can get benched.
I'm not saying you keep. I'm just trying to somehow, some way resolve this financial issue that the ownership put themselves under. I understand that it's asinine to keep him. I understand that because there's a shattered locker room right now because of everything going on. I don't believe a word that anybody says in this thing at this point. Yeah. I don't give two shits about who's right or who's wrong. We all know everything went down, and this is where we're at. Ownership made a bad decision. They learned a football lesson. They got their pee-pee slapped, and it's costing them $85 million now. If you can try and avoid being under that kind of financial strain, though, while you're trying to rebuild your team, keep Russ around. I mean, he's at least going to be a moderately decent teammate. He's going to do he's going to do what's right. As much as it may not be good, Russ is still going to do what is right because that's the type of person he is.
No.
Yes.
Like he's gonna do what's right, but he's not. It's not good to have him around.
Like I feel like
we said that about Judy too, and he's still around.
Well, that's because they didn't think they were gonna. They thought they could get more for him than they did, or than they could have got. It sounds like, and so they just decided, fuck it, they'll hold on to him because they still have him for next year for draft capital stuff.
And is that also Sean Payton thinking he can fix Jerry Jeudy or make him a star in his offense?
Sure, maybe. Who knows? But at that point, it wasn't working out. And then Cortland Sutton came out and played great. And it's pretty clear, might as well just get what you can from Jeudy. We've been saying that for weeks.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of our Judy's bias, is that they should just get what they can for Jeudy. And they should have done this, much sooner. Sadly, now it's kind of too. I guess he can have one ball out game. That'd be phenomenal.
You want a good pick?
You got one more chance.
What you can do about trading with the Bears for that number 4 pick?
Oh, there's no way.
They already have the number 1 pick. You can get that 4 pick from them if you package the right kind of players together. Plus, you're gonna have to figure something out because if you do end up with Penix, he's left-handed.
Yep. If you go to the number 4
you're gonna have to switch your line around.
If you go to the number 4 pick, you're not taking Penix.
No. You're taking somebody else. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is if you have that chance, you might as well talk to the Bears because you have Jerry Jeudy that's available, Justin Simmons. You're willing to discuss certain guys. If you can throw them towards Chicago, get that number 4 pick, you can get a better quarterback.
I don't see that happening, though. I don't see Chicago. They're going to want a king's ransom. And if they're going to do that, they're going to want multiple years of first-round picks to continuously build around, like we said, either Fields or somebody else they draft.
Depends on who you give them.
No, we don't. Unless we give them Patrick Surtain, which we're not going to do. Simmons is an older safety.
Are you not going to?
I feel like he's the best player on the team, and he's one of the few guys that you can kind of build around. Not necessarily build around because it's hard to build around a corner, but like that's a solid kind of cornerstone of your defense is that you have a guy locking people down.
Sauce Gardner's ranked number 1 as a corner right now.
Sure. Fucking him and Sauce Gardner were fucking 1 and 2 last year. So, this year they switch. Or maybe it was Sauce number 1 last year too. I don't know.
PS2 moved down the rankings.
I feel like PS2 is still worth keeping around because this team doesn't feel like it's just trade every single player, blow it up, fucking horrible. After all that shit, they've managed to do a couple things like fucking if you can just get a rookie quarterback to build the team around, like you've got stuff. The defense was functional. Like I wouldn't mess with that if you could avoid it. But I think that's too much, but maybe not. I guess
that goes even back to what I was saying at the trade deadline. It's not trade every player that's available, but you take whatever comes your way.
Yeah,
because not every player is on the board. Every player is out there and available, but you're not going to get an offer for everybody or a good offer for everybody. But if you get a good offer for any of your players, you have to cut bait and go for it if it's going to improve this team in the long haul. Because, yeah, Patrick Surtain is great, but we already know what he can do. And unfortunately, we also know that cornerback, other offenses can throw away from Patrick Surtain, and they often choose to do that. And as much as I love having him here and wouldn't want him to go anywhere else, if you're adding a top 10 draft pick and losing Surtain, and that means you're getting the offensive line help to add to the quarterback that you're drafting, then yeah, because offense rules the NFL right now, and it will for a while. Like newsflash, quarterbacks run this thing, even though they're even backup quarterbacks this year. But there have been some great defenses. But Drew Lock. What the hell did he do this year? Oh my God!
Somebody finally sat down with him and taught him. I told you guys.
No.
He was drafted. It was not his fault where he was drafted. I told you he was going to be a feasible average quarterback and a good backup.
Do not make this Drew Lock rising from the ashes.
No, I'm not saying Drew Lock's rising from the ashes. I'm just saying I was right when I said he was going to be an average quarterback. It's not his fault. He was drafted too high, and he just needed a quarterback that wasn't born in 1938 before the forward pass was invented to teach him how to play football.
Forward pass.
Oh my God! You and Caleb should go hang out and just start a whole Drew Lock is great video again.
No,
we love Drew Lock. No,
yeah. No. I'm not. I'm just saying he proved me right.
You can chart every single one of it. He proved you right in a game and a half.
That's all you need a backup for.
Look at the NFL this year.
How many games did God, why am I forgetting his name now?
I mean, how about Gardner? Yeah. How about Gardner Minshew, who's played like 12 games this season?
I don't care about Gardner.
Joe Flacco, who's played Nick Foles, the quarterback that won the Super Bowl. He played like the second half of the season.
Yeah, Nick Foles won the Eagles the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
By playing. Okay, so Drew Lock is going. Drew Lock
than a game and a half.
Foles then.
Kubiak. There it is. Jesus.
Kubiak played games.
I kept getting stuck on Shanahan.
Kubiak has like a 100% playoff percentage. It's one because he threw like 3 passes.
Anyway, I love ruffling your feathers with Drew Lock.
Sure. Okay, we'll wait for him to play another game and eat shit.
Yeah,
throw 3 picks and put away the Buzz Lightyear gun.
Okay, that's all I needed. I need one good performance. That's what I got, and I'm happy with it. I can move on.
I mean, at least he would play better for more than 15 seconds at least.
I don't know. Back to where we were. We had to talk during the trades, around the trade deadline too, that what we value these players at and what these other teams value them at are obviously 2 different things as well. But if you're packaging a high value asset like PS2, you're gonna get high value in return, even if you throw in 2 backup linemen and
maybe
I don't know a fill-in middle linebacker.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to give up one of your cornerstone dudes to move up.
Your Drew Lock talk made me need to get a can opener.
Bottle opener?
Can opener.
Happy New Year, bottle opener.
Happy New Year. I should go grab a glass of ice or something for one of my.
Tastes like Christmas.
I'll wait for us to talk about baseball or something so you guys can go and I'll go grab me a whiskey. But no, at the end of the day, the quarterback to save the team is priority 1, and that has to go above everything else. I just don't love taking the team back to 0 when you've got guys that you can sort of get around. And then the idea is that once you're out from under the Russell Wilson contract, all of a sudden you'll have a quarterback with a few years under his belt, some young guys that are kind of coming into their own, and then you can actually have money and boom, it's anything. Because right now there doesn't look like there is any kind of plan. And what scares me is that Sean Payton is going to waste these next couple of years of good quarterbacks and try to go for a guy like Kirk Cousins or a guy – well, they can't afford to pay him, thank God. or a guy, some veteran. I swear to God, if they bring in like Jimmy Garoppolo and then don't draft a quarterback, I will lose my mind. Like, I'm okay with any of those backup dudes. I actually really would not want to see Jimmy Garoppolo here because he's fine, but I don't know. He's gonna get hurt. It's gonna be bad. He's the Michael Penix of the current NFL.
Well, and yeah, I know you started this off saying it's in the eye of the beholder, and who values what player at what position, and how much they want to put into that position. If you see one of these playoff teams go out and get torched on defense because their cornerbacks don't stand a chance, then maybe you see them paying a higher price for Surtain. Maybe you see a team that has their eye on Judy, who loses a wide receiver going into the playoffs or in the playoffs, who just thinks, and this isn't the case, but there are rumors that in New York, I was going to say Jersey. It is Jersey.
It is Jersey.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
It is in Jersey.
Yeah, in New Jersey.
The Jets might try and make a move for Devontae Adams still. Bring him back and hook him back up with.
No, they confirmed it. They put it out there. They straight up said they will try to get Devontae Adams.
Yeah, and so you have that. Then you leave an opening in Vegas. Vegas seems like the type of team that would take a chance on Judy.
But Broncos and Raiders don't. That's like Yankees, Red Sox making trades. That's not.
No, this is a new regime. Walmart will. What did Sean Payton say about the rivalry with the Chiefs? I wasn't here for all that. He doesn't give two flying fucks.
Well, that was about the losing streak. He didn't want to take responsibility for it. He didn't want to act like it was extra motivation. Yeah. But he still wants to beat those teams. He said that when he came here too. That rivalry games are a big deal and division games are a big deal, and he always wants to beat those teams.
But this isn't the Bolin era of not trading and doing business with the Chiefs, the Raiders, or the Chargers. They never did anything right, anyways. But this isn't that era. This is a whole different era of the NFL, and I don't think the Broncos are afraid of trading Judy to a division foe, and all of a sudden him popping off and having a Hall of Fame career.
He's not gonna have a Hall of Fame career.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So why would you be afraid to trade him to the damn Raiders?
Because I don't want to trade people to the Raiders. The Raiders aren't going to trade anything decent to us. They're going to try to give us the least amount possible. There's no way Mark Davis goes, oh, yeah, the Broncos?
Have you seen Mark Davis?
Yeah, there's no way.
That dude has no functioning between his ears.
That does seem likely. But that kind of fits more into what I'm saying, because all he knows is what this same shit his dad did, which is don't deal with those teams you want to beat. The teams you hate the most, which is the Broncos and the Chiefs. Because, fuck the Chargers. Nobody cares. It's Chiefs, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders. Broncos, Raiders. Those are it's the trifecta. It's kind of sad that no one rivalry is kind of above the other. It just depends on which fan base you're in.
Not right now.
Because we'd always just say Broncos, Raiders. And then, Chiefs, Raiders. It's never been Broncos, Chiefs, even though
it was Broncos, Chiefs for a while.
The Broncos, Chiefs, if they could both be good at the same time, for more like when it was Peyton Manning and Alex Smith, which was still different tiers.
It was in your very, very early younger days.
Derek Thomas days.
That's a good
Joe Montana days.
Yeah, I said Joe Montana.
No. Chiefs was a much bigger rival with the Broncos for a while, and then it really did become the Raiders.
Terrible, Marcus days. I know, but I don't know. It's go ahead, Colin. Sorry.
It's just there's a new way of doing business in the NFL, and you don't like those teams, but you got to realize that if you don't offer up or make things available to all the teams there. Yeah, as much as you don't like maybe the possibility of making their team better, which I don't think trading someone like Judy does, it's still, you have to be open to all the offers. And that's part of Sean Payton coming in here. He might not be doing dealings with, the Atlanta Falcons.
But the rivalry doesn't matter. Sorry.
No. I'm saying the rivalry between
the smartass.
He has the rivalry that he had built in when he was there, and so there's a natural dislike for him and his former foes in that division. But between him and the Raiders, there is no rivalry. I mean, this is assuming that Sean Payton is basically the GM, which I think he's going to be. So he has no besides being in the same division, he has no hatred or long-standing rivalry with any of these teams. That's what I'm saying, is that him as a person.
If you want to get those press guys out from in front of you, don't do business in the AFC West.
They don't do it.
Because all it's going to do is it's going to open a bunch of questions, and he's going to get irritated with them because they're asking him questions about why you doing deals with the Raiders, why you doing deals with the devil.
If he gets a 2 and a 5 from the Raiders for Jerry Jeudy,
every story is going to be they could have got a 1. That's what every news story is going to be. Well, they could have got a 1 from this team.
No,
somebody will sniff something out.
There was actually a deal on there.
The story will be that the Broncos fleeced the Raiders for a guy who couldn't hack it in Denver. Second guy who couldn't hack it in Denver.
This one's name wasn't Hackett.
Like that's what it is. But you can't be. He's not afraid to do those deals. Like I said, there's no ill will in the division with him and the other teams like there is in the South.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're open to one, you're open to them all. If you're going to play that, I mean, if you're going to play that card, you have to dude deals with the Falcons and the Panthers and those teams.
And that's what I'm like. But he has a history of not dealing with those guys. He doesn't have a history. Sean Payton does not have a history of not dealing with these teams.
Well, you're going to now.
The Broncos do, and that's all that matters. You're not going to.
But Sean the Broncos' history is all gone. The guys who have history
he wouldn't deal with the Falcons or the Panthers or the Buccaneers because they're his division. He's not going to deal with them. He's going to make them go elsewhere. That's like one of the biggest things. Well, not biggest, but that's a tenet of football. And yeah, it might be a mistake if the Raiders would give you the most, but I don't think they would because they're the Raiders. They don't want to give us draft picks for a guy they could potentially.
Well, then you use that as leverage. If they make
I feel like you'll always get more from other teams anyway. And at the end of the day, fuck the Raiders. If you're trading him,
wouldn't that be what happened if you? What would be happening?
But that's why they would not take it because they're like, why do you want to get rid of him? What's wrong with him? We're going to try to give you as little as possible because if you're trying to give him to the Raiders, he must be damaged fucking goods. That's giving it away, So I don't think they would take him or they would try to give you little to nothing, which you could give little to nothing from anybody. So fuck the Raiders, don't give them shit.
I don't know. I mean, I think they'll fall into a quarterback in that first round. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade their way back a little bit if they can. Thank you, Jorge Cardenas, for the fuck the Raiders. We appreciate you.
Also, what's up, Clayton, my guy? Yeah,
Jorge, my man.
Raiders.
My man, Jorge.
That's it.
Hip hip Jorge, buddy.
That's a good one.
I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's just a matter of waiting this out. We're gonna have to wait for the Natty on Monday. That's gonna be a freaking phenomenal game. I hope. But first things first. 21 stitches, and it only took him a week to come back.
Yeah, that shit was awesome.
AG back on the court, looking like AG.
He shot a 3. It was phenomenal.
Well, he always shoots threes. He just can't make them.
I was joking that you got the stitches on his hand, and it's his shooting hand. I'm like, that's not his shooting hand. That's his dunking hand.
He doesn't have a shooting hand. He has a dunking hand.
He has a dunking hand. And he did both. It was awesome. I was at the game. That was the one game I got to go to this year. And it was super fun. Aaron Gordon played really well. It was just a fun overall game. Jokic didn't score a single point until I think the second quarter. So I'm not saying he didn't score until I got there, but he didn't score until I got there. So
I was waiting for you. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if he took a little more time to let it heal a little bit. Let the team kind of figure out, a backup plan just in case. But hey, you want to come back and put the team back together, then go for it. Like we were talking about, it's past the first of the year now, so now it's time to get serious and start getting yourselves ready to go and prep for a playoff run again.
Yeah, you got your guys back. Peyton Watson looked like he came in and subbed for AG a bunch.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, he looked like he was playing good from what I caught. I was working the national championship game. Yep. But yeah, for the Nuggets to have these guys back and then to really, they trampled the Hornets. That's a team that you should beat and you should be good. And in the past, though, in many past years, that would be a game that would be way too close for comfort into the fourth quarter because the Nuggets would stumble and fall. But they didn't. They're showing a lot of signs of maturity and growth from last year where they let so many games get out of hand. So that was really good to see them take a lead, hold on to it, and finish the game off early.
Yep. It was too close at halftime, which was kind of fun because at least I got to see a competitive game to an extent because their center, Nick Richards, is really athletic, and he kind of did some things that Jokic also wasn't trying too hard to stop because why? They're not going to outscore you. But it was a fun game for sure. And then they poured it on. They went on a stupid run in the third quarter, and that was it. And it was beautiful to see that third quarter play also because that's been such an Achilles heel for the Nuggets in years past. Is just totally just, shitting the floor in the third quarter and letting other teams come back or letting them go ahead of you. And it was really nice to see. Everyone was on the same page. Also, great call by the Nuggets PA announcer. KCP hits a three, and he yells out, "You know with KCP?" And then the crowd, I don't think was used to it yet, but hopefully eventually they will all go, "Yeah, you know me," which makes me smile a whole lot.
Nice. Nice. I love it.
Oh, nothing like the 90s rap. I'm just glad to see them continuing to roll like they should. Like you said, Colin, they beat a team they should beat and pretty easily. We talked about it. They've been known to just, play with their food a little bit before they finish a game. That third quarter was always, they just kind of came out lax and, had to get slapped in the face a little bit before they start playing hard. So, it's nice to see them coming back. The Avs are starting to kind of put it together a little bit. They're trailing 2-1 right now, but there's still time to go. I think it's only in the first still.
Yeah, the Avs won that game 3-1 on Sunday night, which was good to see. I'm still waiting, really honestly, for the trade deadline for them to see what they end up doing.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced that this team is ready for a whole championship run right now as it is. I just, I've talked about Georgiev. Georgiev has also faced the most or the second most shots in the NHL this season. Which is not good for a goaltender of his stature. Not that he's not good. It's just not. It's not his forte is stopping that many pucks.
No, yeah, he's a kid too. But I did see a cool ESPN article of who's the MVP, McKinnon or Kucherov. So that's pretty fun. But yeah, no. Even though they didn't have the greatest defense a couple years ago, I still think defense is going to be what wins you championships. You have to be able to, hold your ice to an extent. You can't just only rely on those phenomenal scores that you have because like you said, Georgiev taking the most shots. That's I guess that's good experience, but that needs to change also real quick.
Well, I think Sammy G coming back too now that he's had his time away from the team and
let's hope so.
Kind of got his mind right too. That's going to help a lot too defensively because you got to think you were out without Sammy G for two months.
Yeah. You could argue that. I don't know if that helped or hurt him. I'm glad he went. He got his help and everything he needed, but he's still just such a liability. Sometimes when you see him get the puck, you're like, "Oh, please God, just don't turn it over. Just don't.
Just give it to somebody else. Just
just stop holding on to the puck behind the net because I just want anyone else to handle the puck, please. Leave
the guy alone. All right, he's good. Okay, he's good.
Gonna be fine. Probably
fine, yeah.
We're hoping
he's doing good. He's doing good.
He hasn't fucked up that badly.
And let's jump into the college football playoffs real quick. So I'm gonna just come out and say it. I want to apologize.
I jumped.
Fucking lie.
I want to apologize. When I was still mad about FSU not getting to go. And they got demolished by Georgia.
Yep. Which we knew was going to happen.
Let me tell you, the two games that we had on Monday, I will eat my words because, man, that was some fun football.
It was. Both games were phenomenal.
Yes.
I mean, you go to OT in the first game, which I know Joe was super excited about.
I loved it. It was my favorite. God.
Like, it couldn't have been any better for him.
Couldn't have been any better.
It was a set of games that proved that these really were the four best teams, or the four best fights for the final.
Yeah.
Final 3 games, I guess you want to say. With these being, the first 2 of those 3, like with those 2 teams or 4 teams, in the 2 games,
2 to 4 teams,
they matched up so well. The committee got it right. They placed them together right, and it should make for a pretty fun national championship too.
Yeah,
because you have the defense. So in the Washington and Texas game, by halftime, they had I think it was like 20 less yards than the whole game of not Georgia, of Michigan and Alabama.
Wow.
So you got strength on strength happening in these games. And I don't want to say weakness against weakness because the running back for Michigan, what's his name?
That kid was just tearing it up.
He's a stud. But
yeah,
you have like one of the best offenses in Washington going up against one of the better defenses. Corum, yeah.
That's right.
In Michigan, who holds Alabama. Alabama I think they made a terrible play there.
Why do you call a quarterback draw to end the game? What was that?
Your quarterback is a really good athlete.
And they're stacking the box. They're stacking the box.
Yeah.
It's 4th and goal from the 2.
Let him throw it.
Yeah, exactly. Let him
pound it with somebody. I don't know. I guess they're stacking. I don't know. Pitch it. I guess it depends on your old line. Do they think their old line was that much bigger and better than the D line of Michigan?
They hadn't been though. Michigan had been dominating that side of the ball.
So I don't know. This is again a video game, but sometimes in Madden I just go in a shotgun on the 2, because it confuses the defense. They don't know what to do. It's funny when you run it out of shotgun in the 2 because they're all spread out and you just get an easy touchdown. But I don't know, man. Like, sort of, I guess on paper it seems legit, but it needed to be more than that. Some kind of rollout run, maybe, or like just a play action design kind of thing, or maybe an option. I don't know if they run many options, but like just.
I feel like I was watching
the last play of the game. Like, do something. You have to have a money play for the situation. I'm sure that you do.
Yeah.
And it's not quarterback draw.
Maybe he heard Charger. And so they went, oh, let's quarterback draw on the 2. We'll just do a Chargers play. No?
It was rough. Oh, that was good. But just it makes me cringe too because it just it feels bad. But at the end of the day, it's Nick Saban, so fuck it. And it's kind of I love too that the Alabama lost anyway, so it really didn't matter. You could have just put in FSU because who gives a shit? Alabama wasn't going to win. You just put in the 3rd string quarterback FSU and just let them fucking go at it. Be the TCU of this year and see if they get embarrassed one game earlier. But no, that was the way to go because fuck Alabama. Because the game was great. Even though I picked Alabama to win, whatever. I like seeing them lose.
I give Chris not nothing but the time.
Alabama.
Man, every time Home Dude on the radio was announcing that, it sounded like that. I was laughing the whole time. Every time he said Alabama, it was rough.
Yeah, dude. It's but yeah, then the other one, even though I didn't get to watch it, was holy shit. Washington and Texas. That just came down on the wire.
Dude, that was a fun game.
It was just nuts. Yeah, I was, checking the score of the Nuggets game the whole time. So I was like, damn, that's still going. Like, I wish I'd logged into my buddy's DVR and fucking recorded it so I could watch it later. I'm sure I can just watch the full plays, replay or whatever. But yeah, like it's almost like we've been saying for our entire fucking lives that if college football had a goddamn tournament, people would enjoy that.
Yeah.
It would be good. You could settle the disputes of who is the best teams. Like, it's almost like the NCAA doesn't know how to run a tournament, but they fucking do in basketball, and it drove me crazy. And like,
they're not going to be in charge of it for long.
No,
exactly. And it feels weird to go straight from 4 to 12. That's going to create some blowouts, but fuck it. That'll be fun. That'll make some of the earlier games just kind of ridiculous. We'll have brackets because fuck it, but maybe not just because it's only.
Oh no, there'll be brackets.
But just because it's college football or it's college sports, I think there'll be brackets. There won't not be able to not be brackets. And we'll get some random colleges too. Like, look who managed to make it. There's Rutgers or some shit.
I mean, Rutgers had that year where they had lost one game. They had a really good season, and
and they never got a chance to play anybody good.
Never got
Grand Canyon State.
GC, it's Grand Canyon University.
Oh, sorry.
That too.
Grand Canyon University. I apologize.
Yeah.
If you're gonna come at the big hole in the middle of America, come at them correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna come at the hole.
Hey, speaking of going at someone correct, I just want to circle back real quick to Sean Payton. I did some quick little research on Sean Payton's trade history. He has done a lot of dealings with the Chiefs, the Cardinals, the Dolphins, and the Packers in the past.
Beautiful. Yeah, not the Panthers, Saints.
And Saints.
Or Saints. Not the Panthers, Falcons, or Buccaneers.
There was one trade with the Falcons I saw.
Okay.
But yes, but I'm saying
what was it?
For majority, I'd have to go
see
back.
What it was?
It did say what it was. I'd have to go back and see.
I would love if it was just some random.
But I was
bullshit.
looking for teams that he did business with. Oh, the Giants were also up there. Excuse me.
Sure.
But Packers, Giants, Dolphins, Cardinals, and the Chiefs, I think I saw the most of. So of the 5 teams that he's had some dealings with in the past, you might want to look at something like that or one of those teams that he might try and make a deal with.
Yeah,
which is kind of scary. I know we're circling back, but it could be kind of scary because who's on the Cardinals who wants out?
Well, and add to that too, if you're dealing with the NFC North, your general manager right now likes to do a lot of dealings in the NFC North too with the Vikings.
He had like 2 deals with the Vikings I saw in the past.
The Vikings aren't going to get a receiver though because they've got Addison, they've got Jefferson.
No, but they got linemen.
Their favorite.
They do have offensive linemen. They have one former Bronco on offensive line.
Yeah, okay, but the trade piece is still Jerry Jeudy, so they have to want a receiver.
Yeah, I mean it's a must.
Not necessarily. You got Justin Simmons.
I mean, no, they already have. They already have. What's his name? Smith, who's one of the top 5 highest. They're not going to have 2 of the 5 highest paid safeties in the NFL.
Yeah. They do play different safety positions, so they could have their own Hyde and Poyer. But look what that's done for Buffalo.
So it was just a quick circle back, so you guys know. Those are some teams that we can watch out for.
But again, except the Chiefs, we're not trading with the Chiefs. Fuck the Chiefs.
Yeah, Jerry, I would not want to. I would not. Okay, so I would not trade a receiver to the Chiefs.
Exactly.
Unless it was a first rounder. Give me a first rounder. Yep, I'd do it for a first rounder. Let them
for a first rounder. Yeah.
Let's
one more first round pick.
God damn it, I hate that. But they would do it.
We've seen what he can do. We know how to stop him.
They would never do it.
Yeah, I know, but
if they did,
yeah.
Okay. Sorry to take us off topic, but I just wanted to go through that real quick so we had some teams in mind.
I don't know. I know I'm wearing red, but
as we're thinking ahead, as we're thinking ahead to possible teams that we can look at, the Broncos making trades with, whether it be draft time or player wise, those are some teams that he's done a decent amount of dealings with. So,
Okay.
Cool.
and he has picked up a lot of former Chargers. What's up, Austin Eckler?
There you go. I would be totally fine with that. That's a sick 1-2 punch, him and Pookie. But yeah, cross-reference that list with who's ahead of the Broncos in the draft. We want to find ourselves a trade partner by next week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, Instagram limits us on how long we can be live, so it's time for Colin's favorite time to take over. Ladies and gentlemen, victory formation.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. At least. Featuring Nick Archuleta, wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Good, just kind of winging it.
Oh, that is correct. This is the victory formation. New year, new victory formation, and that is a new beer that I am trying, and it does taste like Christmas. This tastes much more like a cider. I'm glad that there's actually flavorful, non-alcoholic beer. Not that I'm a fan of Christmas beers or ever was. I remember I would always have ex-girlfriends drink them to do like my mini tours and stuff because I hated the flavor of them. But this one, it's nice to have flavor in a non-alcoholic beer. So thank you, Santa Claus, Howler. Our DMs are open next Christmas when you want to sponsor us. I'll take a 6-pack.
Absolutely.
But yes,
we can take it now too. You got an abundance of supply still.
If there's any leftover and you want to ship it from where is this? Germany. I'm more than happy to take the. I'll sign for the shipment.
Deutschland.
Germany. It's an ale from Germany. I don't know. It's a holiday brew, but I'm excited that I found something that's I haven't seen before.
I'm excited for you.
Let's get into this new year. We only had the 2 games that we picked this week, so it's obviously a pretty quick list, but everyone's starting at 0. No one's staying at 0. Someone's going negative, and 2 people are going positive. That would be me going negative, as I went 0-2, choosing Alabama and Texas. That'd be negative 20 on those. We all chose Alabama, so we were dumb. Yep. Except for Nick, who freaking I don't know who. Oh my god, what's his name?
I'm full of parlays.
Nick Judas us, and behind our backs went and chose Michigan in his parlay to go.
My defense was a pre-made parlay
to use real money that you made while we were.
No, I didn't make this. Show. It was one of the ones on DraftKings you can just pick. So it was already at plus 800, and it was Michigan, Washington, Oregon, LSU, and Tennessee all on the money line.
Yeah, whatever, Nick. No excuse.
$50 wager, $450.27.
You're a Judas, all right?
Hey.
Judas with
I got $560 right now. I got 5 on it, baby.
Still doesn't match my my parlay win the other day, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Then Nick and Joe were the 2 smart guys choosing Washington over Texas in that game, and Washington as the underdog at plus. What?
I thought Nick chose Texas.
Nope, he did not.
My bad.
Because I gave him crap for his Pac-12 love. So that is plus 146 means you won $24.60 on that. Minus your $10, you both are at $14.60 in the profit, but don't worry about it. I'll be in the profit soon, as it is my nickname. I will return to dominance as we get into these NFL playoffs, NBA, NHL. Oh man, we're getting ready for some runs, and you might be hearing about a dream or 2 or 3 or 4. I had a really weird dream. I had a really weird dream the other night. Not a good one either. It was scary. It was scary. Not really.
That was frustrating.
Yeah, I did not wake up happy. Maybe it's because I knew I was going to lose. But hey, on a positive note, speaking of not losing, I am the champion of the CBFL Fantasy Football League. Zanker Spankers won 1 championship this year, and
good for you, buddy.
Didn't place anywhere else. Joe, congratulations on your 2nd place.
Thanks, man.
Nick, I think
Don't set it to Tom Brady.
I think you get your second choice of draft picks this next year.
Yay.
But yeah, the CBFFL, excuse me, with my brother-in-law, not to be confused with cousin Alex, Mr. Fergola, and a bunch of people from his work. Shout out to that league. Beat Amber Waves of Pain in the playoffs. She was feeling the pain as my roster was stacked. But, that wraps up all the victories from last year, and we start anew this year. I start negative, but that will change soon. I promise you.
You know what? Be positive, Colin.
I'm actually going to try this year and do my bets on DraftKings while we pick them.
That's a good idea.
And let's just see how far we can take it.
Well, I mean, I already have the numbers. I would have made $1,100 last year. Nick, you would have made $677.
Yeah.
Joe would have made $478. Always straight $10 bets.
I like money.
On the money line.
Yep.
Money.
Some of them we won like $10.12 for.
Oh man.
Or those are
the best ones.
You know what? Sometimes you don't take the dog. You just take the one you know that's going to win. Always just take the winner.
Oh, man. Well, that was
never known you need 12 cents. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Avs are trailing 3-1 now. That's not good.
Oh, sweet.
So my parlay is not looking very good right now.
It's never too late.
Yeah, they'll come back.
Never give up.
They're not playing well because I'm not watching. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I guess we better finish the stream so you can get to watching, huh?
There you go.
Yeah, before Instagram kicks us off.
We could just bullshit for 3 minutes and 40 more seconds roughly.
That's not the one I wanted. What am I doing?
Well, while Colin finds the right song, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Michael Spillian and everybody over at E5280sports.com for having us on in their network. Make sure to check out their shows as well. Theirs are just as good, if not better. For Colin Zanker and Joe Goodwin, I am Nick Archuleta. This has been the Undrafted Uncensored. Until Saturday, we love you all.
May the force be with you. Saturday noon.
Saturday noon.
Yeah.
We swear.
Fuck the Raiders.
L7 Weenie.
Fuck them.